Hi everyone, how you doing? It's making a video here today on Woodward TG governors. I get a lot of questions on you know, clockwise, counterclockwise, and the people often have counterclockwise in stock when they need a clockwise. And I just want to let everyone know, the customers know, and anyone who needs to know that these governors can be changed from clockwise to counterclockwise. They have a reversible pump, and it's very simple to do, and no one should be really scared about it. There's just a couple of questions that are always asked, and I'll go through them. If you just kind of follow what I do here today, you shouldn't have any issues with accomplishing this. It's a very simple process, and it's nothing to be worried about either. There's just some little steps you want to take just to make sure that everything's just a success. So take your governor here. So you'll see in this governor that there's a marker here, just a little kind of an arrow there, and inside here you can see it probably or not, but this way here is going, this arrow here is in a counterclockwise position, and this arrow down below here is in a clockwise position. The biggest question always asked about these is, hey, I put it in the right direction and it still doesn't work. The issue we have here is, if you're looking at it from the bottom, you'll see this one counterclockwise. So the arrow is in a counterclockwise position lined up with this. So you figure, okay, it counterclockwise, and then it should be right to work with the turbine. But in all reality, if you take this governor and you counterclockwise from behind, is clockwise from the front, because they always tell you to set the direction from the top of the governor. And so you just kind of keep that in mind when you're doing this. So generally from the bottom, counterclockwise is always going to be clockwise. Now we'll take this, we'll move it 180. The clockwise is always going to be counterclockwise. So if you just keep that in your mind, it's very simple. You'll have nothing to worry about. So what we'll do here is I'm going to take this. You want to keep the governor on its side. And I'll talk about that in a minute, why that is. So you can put it in this position. It's a little easier than having it down, but you can take the screws out. Very simple. 1/4 20 in screws. Not anything to worry about. Get them all out of here. So get them removed. You just want to keep this pump housing always down and pressed against, and I'll explain that shortly here. So what you do, now they're all out, keep it down, keep pressure on it. And you want to change it 180 degrees. The reason, and now since the pump's reversible, it can run from counterclockwise to clockwise or clockwise to counterclockwise, and you don't have to worry about it. And now it'll charge up the accumulators and your governor will function properly. So you put the screws back in. Put them all back. Just kind of touch them down. You don't want to have this. This is very, very easy to misalign. So you barely just want to touch them down. And generally what you would do at this point is you get a torque wrench, because you only have these are only 80 and 90 inch-pounds. People are often surprised at how little that is, but that's all they take. They're metal screws going into aluminum, and they can strip them out really easy. You just got to be really careful so go back and forth through the round circle to make sure that it's, go around and around with your torque wrench to make sure everything's good. And after you've done torquing it, do this by hand. If you feel any binding whatsoever, absolutely loosen it, readjust it, align it. That little binding right there will cause this to heat up, and you'll eventually get premature failure, and it could actually seize the entire governor and take the whole thing out. So you just got to make sure when you do that this is misaligned. It should turn very nicely. The other reason why you don't take it off is because there's a gerotor pump in there. And now if you take it off, all the, gerotor pump falls on the ground. It could get scratched with whatnot. And then of course, you put it back in and now you're gonna have alignment problems. So you just wanna keep everything down. Don't pull it off. Keep your finger on it. Do your 180 turn. Everything's, torque it down nicely. Make sure it turns perfect. And always do it in this position, and I'm gonna explain that now. So I'll put this governor to the side. This is why I have this other particular governor here to show you guys. So this one here, so move this out of the way so you guys can see it in the camera. So this one here is obviously the same governor, but it has the pump off. And you'll see here there's a bushing. It turns. And this bushing can move in and out. And the reason it does that is because if you turn around this way, there's a bushing inside here, and we hold this back from falling out with this little metal tag in here. Probably can't see it quite, but it's pushed against the bushing so the bushing doesn't drop out. But if we don't have that set properly, or sometimes it loosens up, this can move in far. And if you disengage it from it and put it back on, when you put the bushing back on, it may not land in the spline, and it may push it in like this. Now when you go put it on the turbine, it's not engaged, it's gonna turn, and it may turn freely without turning the bushing. So you'll be wondering what's going on, and the governor isn't working well, just the pump is turning. And that's just only gonna lead to you taking this out, probably seizing the entire governor and destroying it, and wondering why in the heck I changed the direction. So if you just follow these steps, don't take the pump off, torque it to 80, 90 inch-pounds, make sure it turns freely. Extremely important that you do this. If you need someone, help with you, need to do it on a nice surface where you're comfortable doing it. You just follow all these steps. You'll have no problem going from clockwise to counterclockwise. Also, if you do switch, it's a good idea. This one doesn't have a tag on it. Re-stamp the tag from CW to CCW or vice versa. And there's little indicators on the side. Also, those can be maybe peeled off and changed, just so the next person coming along understands what you've done. And just go through that process. It's very simple. It should take you no more than like 5-10 minutes. Then you'll have no problem. And so, you don't have to worry again if you don't have the right direction governor in stock. You can just change direction and away you go. Okay, well, I hope that helps, and you guys have yourself a really good day. Thank you. Bye-bye.